want to welcome you again. We're here now at the Nature Center. We were at my home, and now we're here at the Nature Center. The Nature Center was our first official facility that we moved to as a ministry. Of course, we started in my home, and my wife and I, we never charged the church for having service at my house. But when we moved to the Nature Center, it was our first official place, one of our first official moves as a congregation.
The way we heard about Christ Community Church was I was looking to move my family to a new church home. And I remember Pastor Levert from speaking at our old church. He used to speak at the men's breakfast and the men's fellowship. And he always had left an impression being such a young guy, and the way that he preached the word so accurately and clearly and really broke it down so it would be easy to digest. Once I started thinking about moving my family to a new church home, he was the one that came to mind. My wife was at home and she looked him up on the internet and found out that he had started, because we were looking to find out what church he was a part of, and we ended up finding out that he started his own church. And they happened to be having a church picnic in our neighborhood, like right around the corner from where we were staying at the time. And so we thought we would check that out. So when we came to the picnic, it was very family, it seemed very family driven. That was one of the things that we noticed from interacting with the people of Christ Community Church. It was very family based, and you felt like you were a part, very welcoming. And that was very nice for us. It was a good first impression. You kind of felt like family when we got there.
We just knew that this was a young church, and they were worshiping at the park in our neighborhood at the time. So we came, and I just remember in the sermon, the things that you were addressing, the pastor was addressing in the sermon, spoke directly to some kind of issues that we were struggling through before. And I just felt like that was we felt like that was like kind of God letting us know, yeah, this is where you should be. So we just really felt like we were where we should be that Sunday. And then it was like, we're gonna eat, and we tried to leave, like we're not gonna impose and eat the food, but they were like, no, come and eat, come and eat. So it was just very welcoming. I really appreciated that.
I heard about the church when I was at a Bible study with actually a few people from the church. Marvin, Dwight, and Brother Tommy. We were there. Marvin was like, hey, I saw Brother Levert outside mowing his lawn or whatever. And he said he's starting a church. When I heard about it, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go check it out.
So when we first came here to the Nature Center, I just remember feeling that the worship was very organic. It was just people singing, worshiping God. No one seemed like they were in this box of, this is how I should be for church. You had people that were dressed in a way that is like traditional for church. And then you had people that just had on jeans and t-shirts. So you could feel comfortable no matter how you were dressed or how you came to church. But they all were just worshiping God. Hands were raised. Voices were coming not just from the singers, but from the congregation. And everybody was so friendly, and they approached us and talked to our whole family down to the kids. And when we went home, I just remember us saying, like, we felt like we were with the people of God. We just kept saying that. We just felt so warm, and we definitely felt, again, that this is where we were supposed to be.
It was a struggle pulling the kids away from our old church and moving to a new church, but it kind of presented an opportunity to show them that it's not about the relationships and the friendships and stuff that you build within the church. That's very good and it's good to have, but it kind of gave us a chance to kind of teach them what church was about, and just show that no matter where you're worshiping, you're all a part of one big family. The family got to experience that and see that, these people over here worship Jesus the same way as these people over here. And I think that helped them understand the bigger plan, and it kind of put a little bit of a fire under them as far as understanding the purpose and the meaning behind church, and helped them grow in some really cool ways in their faith. My fondest memory is when we decided to join the church, and we went through the new membership class. I met a guy named Joe Hope, and he was not what I expected him to be, you know, from the outside appearance. When, you know, he was this very serious, intelligent looking guy. He had glasses. And one of the first things I remember him saying is, "I'm a comedian at heart." And it sparked a relationship and a friendship that I'll never forget.
One thing I really appreciate about the church is it gives people opportunities. I got to see a couple people for the first time, was seen minister. I think Pat was either 19, 20, or early 20s. He got a chance to lead the church and start preaching. Also, I got to see our brother Frank, who's no longer with us. I actually got a chance to see him preach multiple times.
My favorite song to sing, We Were Here, was Brother Gerald's rendition of Oh, How I Love Jesus. And we'd be like, oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus, because he first loved me. I love that. I love that song. I miss singing it that way. It was just like our own way. I was like, hey, they got this hip new way of singing this song.
Over the years in our ministry, you know, we've certainly faced challenges like every other ministry has faced challenges. But, you know, one of the things that I appreciate about our time here at the Nature Center is that because the space is so confined, when we face challenges, we were able to kind of face those challenges together in prayer. And one time that sticks out to me is when we were considering transitioning from the Nature Center to the facility we went to next. And I remember we had a meeting after church, and we were all in this room together. And I remember we had a time where we just prayed. And I remember that prayer sticks out to me because I remember we said, you know, we just want to speak to God. You know, we just want to speak to God. And we just opened up the floor. And people, you know, in the congregation just started to pray, one person at a time. And the blessing of being in this facility, in this confined space, is that we didn't need mics. You know, we didn't have to do anything really formal, like raise your hand and pray. Like while you were sitting there, as you felt led by the Spirit, as you felt led by God, you can just pray. So it was just this beautiful time that one person prayed, the next person prayed, next person prayed, and we were just all communing and connecting with God together. That sticks out to me.